I'm Camille from Camille's Farm Ideas, and today I have a singing time lesson plan for teaching the primary song Book of Mormon Stories. Now, small caveat. I know there's a huge debate going on about the song, whether people find it appropriate or not, and the actions, etc. So all I'm going to say about that is the song's been put in the children's songbook for a reason, and we've been instructed to teach it. So for me personally, I'm going to obey, follow that counsel, and teach it in primary. But secondly, I love the song. I grew up with the composer, Sister Bates, Elizabeth Fetzler, is that how you say it? Fetzer Bates. And she played the piano. She was a fantastic musician. I think her son and grandchildren were in our ward also, and I was the same age as her grandkids. But she was blind. And I remember going over to her house. I don't even know why I was there. Maybe I was busy teaching with my mom. But she played the song on the piano. Maybe it was even a piano lesson that I just sat down with her randomly. I don't know. I was probably around 8, so long time ago. But she sat down. I remember she just played that song with so much gusto, and she loved it, just like she loved the Book of Mormon. So I just hope that that testimony of how she loved the stories of the Book of Mormon, I just want that love to transfer over to my teaching, my love for the Book of Mormon to my primary kids. And this song is so fun to teach. It's just got that strong, steady beat. Regardless or not if you think it's appropriate or not to teach in primary, it's just fun. It's a great song. Kids love it, and it's all about these fantastic stories found in the Book of Mormon. So if we could just put the politics aside and just teach the message of the song, it's beautiful, and the kids are going to love it, and they're going to remember the stories from the Book of Mormon that relate to this song. Okay, so to teach the song, here's what I recommend you do. So I recommend you get a picture from the Gospel Art Book of all the different verses found in Book of Mormon Stories. Now there's 8 verses. So I have 7 pictures here. The first and second verses kind of all talk about Lehi and his people arriving in the promised land. So you only need 1 picture for that. Now, to get these pictures on the board, if you'll know, they come in the Gospel Art Book. It looks like this. So what I recommend you do with your Gospel Art Book, if you haven't already done so, is you take it apart. So I have mine taken all apart. I took the spiral thing out, the spiral bound, and I put it in sheet protectors, and I just have it. So now I can take pages out and post them on the board just like this. So this is one of my favorite resources to teach primary songs. I mean, you can almost teach any primary song using this. If you don't have a printer, you need this book. So, and it just makes it so easy. I do recommend having 2 copies because, and this song is the perfect example, you need 2 of the pictures in the book that are back to back. So this has, okay, Alma, the conversion of Alma is here. And then if you turn the page, you need Ammon defends the flocks of the king. So it's the same page. So you can't hang it on the board separately like this. So I recommend getting 2 copies. I think they're like less than $5 a book. Take them apart and then put the pages separately in your binders so you can have access. Or what I did just for up here, because I didn't want to take this one apart because I do like this book in this format. Maybe I need 3. Maybe I need 3 copies. Is I printed Ammon. I downloaded it from online and printed it separately. So if you need to do that, that's great too. And because this was the only one that is back to back, the rest are they all work fine. So get a Gospel Art Book, or I do have all the links available on my website. You can download those all from the church's website as well. Okay, so Gospel Art Book, fantastic resource for singing time. One of my favorites. All right, so what I recommend, most kids should be familiar with Book of Mormon Stories. My primary is we sing this song every Sunday with the nursery kids, just using actions, and we just sing the first verse, and it's really fun, really easy. Kids love it. It's just a fun song. I maybe I'm a minority here, but I love Book of Mormon Stories. And I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, but I love it. Okay, so you will want to start by posting this picture on the board. And you can just tell the primary that you're going to be singing a song that has several stories found in the Book of Mormon. So you're going to place this on the board. And this is just for TV effect. Don't put these up yet. So you put that on the board, and then you and the teachers are going to sing the song with actions for Book of Mormon Stories for the first and second verses. And if your primary kids know it and can sing along, great. I do recommend posting the words, especially for this song, because we're going to be going through 8 verses. So if you know me, you know that I love to post the words. This is my hands-free version. They just hang over the back of my music stand, and I can flip the page to the second verse. And if you really need, sometimes I have like a child that needs a little special attention from me. And so I always make him my special helper, and he can turn the pages for me, and he'll stand up front and flip the pages for me. So if you need a helper, that's always great, or you can do it yourself. Okay, and then just to show you what I have on the other side, I have my primary songbook here, and then these are my notes for singing time. So this is just how I love to teach. So I've got the board. This is always kind of off to the side, and I rarely stand right behind the board, because if you notice, you can't. It's distracting, right? So I always step to the side. Okay, did you feel that difference? Standing here versus here? I think it just helps. Anyway, okay, so I've on my website with the link below, you can get all the actions that I have shared for Book of Mormon Stories. And I know, again, more controversy with the song are the actions, and it's mostly with the feathers and then the bow like this for Lamanites. If you don't feel that's appropriate, totally fine, don't do it. I recommend doing the ASL for Lamanite, and it's here and here. I just watched the church's ASL video for Book of Mormon Stories, and it was Lamanites. Now, it's kind of a long verb. Let's see, the phrase is kind of long. If you're just singing Lamanites are about the Lamanites in ancient history, it's kind of not a lot of signing to do. So you can go are about the Lamanites in ancient history. So it's way back when, if you want. My preference, I just do the fingers with the behind my head. It doesn't bother me. I've asked my ward. No one's bothered by it. In fact, they think it's weird to switch the actions. So, but again, you do you. Don't criticize me for doing me, and I won't criticize you for doing you. So you just have to do what's best for your primary and go with the spirit, how you feel, and everything. So enough said about that. All right. So Book of Mormon Stories. You can either open a book or pound. I kind of tend to like to pound the beat. I do have a separate video, I can link to that as well, that has just the actions, or you can hold the book. Book of Mormon Stories. For my little kids in nursery, we usually pound just because it's more movement. Are about the Lamanites in ancient history. So I already talked about that. You can do the feathers, or you can do the Lamanites in ancient history. Long ago, their fathers came from far across the sea, given this land, or the land. Actually, okay, note on that. Used to say given this land. That's how I grew up learning it. But they changed it to make it more worldwide, given the land. So if you didn't live in America, you wouldn't be saying, if you didn't live in America, you wouldn't say given this land. So given the land, referencing the American land where the Nephites moved to. Okay, given the land, if they lived righteously. Okay, that's verse 1. So, and I have those all little note here. So then you and the teachers will sing verse 1 with this, and then we're going to go on to verse 2. Verse 2 is pretty familiar, but maybe not quite as. Lamanites met others who were seeking liberty. All right. And the land soon welcomed all who wanted to be free. Okay, funny story about this. Growing up, I thought it said welcome doll, D-O-L-L. I could never figure out what it meant. Why would you, what's a welcome doll? Anyway, sorry, off topic. And the land soon welcomed all. So when I teach it, I'm make sure I enunciate that so I don't have any kids that are confused by welcome doll. Okay, who wanted to be free. So just like that. Book of Mormon Stories say that we must brothers be. You can do this or you can pound it. given this land if they live righteously. Okay, that's verse 2. Okay, so to teach this song, you and the teachers will sing, demonstrate the actions. You can go fast, you can go slow, maybe sing it twice. Man, I have a hair that's just catching on my coat. Okay, you and the teachers sing the first and second verses just to demonstrate. You're gonna go pretty quick. And this is mostly just for you, but you'll see what I'm gonna be doing with the rest. Okay, so for the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, you got 6 groups. You are going to take these pictures, they won't be on the board, you can read your hand, and you're gonna pass them out with its coordinating verse actions, and you're gonna divide your primary into 6 groups. Hopefully you've got more than 6 kids in your primary. My primary tends to have around 20, 25-ish on a good day. So I'm hoping I can get at least 3 kids in a group. And then if you can, try and get a teacher in each of the groups. And then you will pass out their little slip of paper and their picture. And you're gonna give each group maybe 5 minutes, if that, just enough time to go over their actions with their teacher. And then they will be teaching it. So then you'll bring everybody back in after they've learned their actions, and then group 3, or verse 3, I guess, it would be the first group, but verse 3 group is going to come forward, and they're going to be teaching about Alma. So they'll come forward, and then the teachers and I can probably sing while this is verse 3, while the group 3 presents. And what I might have them do is just show their actions first, and then we'll all sing verse 3 with the actions. So Alma was rebellious and he fought against the right. Both hands in fists and you're ready to fight. All right, that's what. Then one day an angel came to turn him to the light. And you're gonna look up as if there's an angel here. Struck before his brethren, Alma learned humility, and then you're gonna fall down. Kids are gonna love that one. Then he taught in the land righteously, and that just ends. So there's really only, I think, 3 actions per verse that they're going to need to teach. So it's really easy. And if you have a super small primary, just teach them all together. But it's just kind of fun to have groups come up and be in charge for a minute. Okay, so then you'll put the verse 3 picture on the board and sing it. And you could, depending on how much time you have, you could add on, but you'll probably run out of time because 8 is quite a bit to get through. So you probably need to move along quickly, like verse 1 and 2, just move it along. And then you're going to spend the majority of your time in verses 3 through 8. Okay, verse 4 is Abinadi. So you'll have the group 4, who was on verse 4, come up. We'll put Abinadi on the board. Don't forget Abinadi, who stood before the king. Then you're going to put hands on top of your head in the shape of a crown. All chained up from head to toe, the gospel he did bring. So you're going to grasp hands behind you and cross legs as if you're tied up. So like that. You're all bound. Okay, if he would deny it, then the king would set him free. You're going to shake your head, then hands and legs apart. So he's coming free. So we're tied up. The king said he'd let him go free. He was true and he died righteously. Same thing. Okay? Verse 5 is Ammon. So we have Ammon defends the flock. Now remember, this was on the back side of Ammon, of Abinadi. So make sure you either print a copy or get a second book, which is what I recommend. Okay, Ammon was a missionary serving Lamanites. Use a finger to make a circle where the missionary tag would be, okay? Ammon was a missionary serving, and if you don't have a group, I'm just reading off of these. I haven't pre-read these, if you can't tell. So I'm winging it right now. Tending King Lamoni's sheep for several days and night. Pretend to hold a little lamb and stroke its fur. So we're tending the king's sheep. Robbers came. He saved the sheep by fighting fearlessly. So you're going to swing a sword back and forth because we know what happened. He cut off their arms. He had learned he could live righteously. Okay, that's verse 5. And we have our next group come up, and they're going to be talking about the 2,000 stripling warriors. You can put the picture on the board, and then they'll come demonstrate their actions. Then you can sing it. Once 2,000 sons of God were called to fight the foe. Okay, we're fighting again. Lots of fighting in the Book of Mormon. Marching as an army into battle, they did go. We're going to march. They believed that Christ their Lord, their guardian, would be. Give yourself a hug, because guardians keep you safe. They had learned they should live righteously. Okay, verse 6, moving right along here. Okay, verse 7, Samuel. So there the group will come up, you'll put Samuel on the board and learn the actions. The group will demonstrate the actions. What you could even do is you could read the verse and have the group up front, have them demonstrating the actions as you're reading it. Or the teacher, have the teacher read the verse, the kids demonstrate, whatever works. Samuel the Lamanite, high on the city wall. So you're gonna stand with your legs apart and the arms up and out. I mean, that's just iconic Samuel the Lamanite, right? Right here, if you can see that. Who am I? Came to warn the people, and repentance was his call. So repent. So it says shake a finger like your grandma would if you're being scolded. Arrows could not hit him, for a man of God was he. So we're going to pretend to shoot a bow and arrow. Arrows could not hit him, for a man of God was he. I love these words. And he taught in the land righteously. Okay. Okay, we're last one. I do like singing this last one slower and a little more reverent because it's all about Christ. Especially if you're singing this in the program, this would be a great way to, it's really captivating and just very reverent. Okay, so verse 8. We have this one from the Gospel Art Book, picture of Christ after Christ was crucified and died for you and me. So that's we're pointing. He came forth to teach the truth to all who would be free. Sweep hands out with palm to indicate all in the room. All right. Hands were laid upon each child. He blessed them tenderly. Put hands out on top of one another as if performing a blessing. So he blessed all the children. And they lived in the land righteously. So not too hard. I mean, 3 actions per group, totally doable. You just need to make sure you keep it moving. If you know you've got 20 minutes in singing time, I've got 8 verses to get through. Bang through the first and second verse. That leaves you 6 verses to get through. So you've got like 2 or 3 minutes a verse. So this has got to move quick if you're going to get them all rolling through. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So you just want to repeat until all the groups get their pictures placed on board. If you do, amazingly, have more time, sing it all together. Sing all the verses. How fun would that be with all the actions? And you can even do that at a later date if you want. Okay, so and then just make sure at the very end, I always love to bear testimony of what I've been teaching, and this is just an easy close. You can bear testimony of the truthfulness of the Book of Mormon. So there you go. I hope that helps you teach Book of Mormon stories in singing time this week. Let me know how it goes in the comments.